I think it's all working, Piccia.
It's always like a little bit of a miracle, isn't it? When that happens.
I'll tell you what we didn't do before we click go. We didn't check to see if your browser would actually work. So this could be fun.
It usually does, though, to be fair. And also, you'll be impressed to know that I remembered
to use Chrome. Yay. What's your browser of choice then? You're in Firefox usually.
It used to be Chrome, but it's not Firefox. I tell you one thing about Chrome is that it has very washed out colors. The saturation is way low. I don't know why they do it. Maybe it's look at a website, especially a colorful website in Firefox and then Chrome washed out.
No idea there was any difference. That's fascinating.
It's a big difference. Really big difference.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Right. Well, I shall try that. You prefer which though? Chrome or Firefox in terms of its color?
Firefox, because I mean, I'm wondering whether they do it because of accessibility, because less saturated color on the web is better.
Right.
So it could be for that reason. Okay. But I like color, you see.
Yeah,
at the cost of sometimes of being like very highly saturated colors are like a little bit like a thumb in your eye. Can I have the link to share to my group Design for Geeks?
Yeah, you would. The best thing to do is to go to. In fact, if I put this up, that's probably the best thing to do. The wpbuilds.com/live. If you want to add comments, or wpbuilds.com/Facebook is our Facebook group, but it's not going out to the Facebook page, and so you'll have to.
Not?
No.
Why not?
To the Facebook page because of the StreamYard restrictions. I've only got an account which allows.
That's a new one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, you can stream out to 5 different locations, but my account only has it to 2.
But we've always shared to my group.
Yeah, what did we use? I think we used StreamYard in the past. No, Restream. But if you point them to wpbuilds.com/live,
okay,
that will get them. Somewhere.
Right. So basically, whoever's watching now is just having to. We should have done this before, basically.
Yeah, sorry, everybody. But nevertheless,
we're just having
we're having a nice time. Yeah. Chris says hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hi there.
Hello.
Chris.
Sorry, I'm just going to do this in my group then.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I think it's expected on these live things, isn't it? There's always a little bit of preamble at the beginning and people trying to figure it all out. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But also, everybody's just it's not like anybody's sitting there literally dedicated watching this, are they? It's like somewhere. It's probably on another monitor whilst they're typing out an email or something. So when we get into the good stuff, they can divert their attention.
Really slow for me, which is a bit boring. So I am live, geeks.
Yeah, whilst you're doing that, I will just explain. If you wish to, if you do wish to make comments, there's 2 places to do that. There's the Facebook group, which is wpbuilds.com/Facebook. Please do click there's a StreamYard link in the description, and you have to click that. Otherwise, we're unable to determine who you are in the comments. That's fine if you don't wish to comment, or you would like to be anonymous. That's also fine. I don't think you need to do it multiple times, each time you come in and watch one of these. I think if you've kept your cookies, it'll remember who you are, and so on. Or if you've got, if you're logged into Google and you want to use, my phone just went doo-doo because it heard the word Google. If you would like to, if you'd like to comment over on YouTube, then go to wpbuilds.com/live. And that will give you the capability to do that. So that's quite nice. Look, it's going absolutely mental now. And I've got it on silent, but apparently doesn't wish to be silent. There you go. We're having all sorts of hijinks today. Right, let's turn that off, see if we've got another comment. Oh, hi, Nitesh. I think hopefully you'll get some benefit out of this today. That should be good.
Oh, yeah. Website, yes.
Yeah, indeed. Shall we try sharing your screen then, Piccia? Let's see how that goes.
Let's try that.
Let's see how we do it.
Yeah, I know the share screen.
Yeah.
Screen sharing tips.
Allow all of these things. Allow it all.
Actually, Chrome tab. Chrome tab will then allow me to switch.
No, a Chrome tab will only,
Windows
so long as you stay in that one tab for everything we do today, that's fine.
Windows
That will
better.
totally work.
I'm just going to go window. That should work. So
yeah,
this one first.
That should be it. Let's add it in. Ooh.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just explain about who you are and what have you. So Piccia's been doing this with us for many months. But we've had a little bit of a hiatus because of the the general state of the world. But Piccia's expertise, which I first saw at WordCamp London, I believe, when she did a talk, and it was genuinely, like, I'm not just saying this, Piccia, so that your ego is massaged. It was really informative. I learned lots of new language that I didn't know, and I learned lots about the way that your brain interprets things and how your brain can piece together things in the absence of other things and so on. It's fascinating. Why I'm saying all of that is because Piccia's got a bit of a history with this. She's got a background in design, and she fully understands what it is to look at a web page and have a sort of bird's eye view, whether it's doing what it's purporting to do or whether there's things which could be improved. So welcome again, Piccia.
Thank you so much, Nathan, for the wonderful introduction. And I love hearing it again because, as many of us, I have total imposter syndrome.
Yeah. So
it's always nice to hear that actually it does work. What I do is helpful. So yes, and also with the web, I hasten to add. So I was a designer. I've been for a very long time and started an editorial and then moved to the web. But the point is that with the web, one thing that is super important and that I did study as well is that there's also marketing involved, because when you design, actually, this is, I'm gonna because then you'll find out soon. Is it Nitesh whose website it is?
Yes, this is Nitesh Manav.
Nitesh, I'll tell you why in a minute. So I've had to change because there was something moving. It was completely distracting me. So I've had to go to the other website that we're going to look at today that doesn't have anything that moves. So marketing is so important for the web, and user experience is also so important. It really is a different beast, design on the web. Digital design, actually, I would like to say, because it's also apps and things like that, then designing books for museums used to be, or even brochures for corporations or logos, things like that. It's a completely different beast. There is so much more that you need to know to do a good design on the web, and that's why I found it despairing at the same time as absolutely fascinating. And now I'm fully into it, especially user experience, which is basically, user experience is sort of it is an umbrella term that involves everything. So it's not like just a trendy term. It's what matters, because basically, even if you haven't thought about it, anyone who gets on your website will have an experience. So that's what I look at when I look at these websites. I look at the thing overall, and then I go into the detail of the user interface and things like that. But my main thing is, what is the purpose of the site, and does the site actually fulfill the purpose? So let's start. We are actually going to start with Lifetime-O. So I love so first of all, actually, I'm gonna take my view. Yeah, I'm easily distracted today. My own bookmarks were distracting me. So should I make it actually a bit taller? Were we saying?
Yeah, you can if you squeeze it. There you go. Do you want us to? Shall I take our images off as well, and that way it'll just be the No,
I think it's nice. I never show my face.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Okay.
So I was saying, what it is kind of clear, I think, because the name is a dead giveaway. Lifetime-O.
Lifetime-O, I would have thought.
I think Lifetime-O because it comes from lifetime, but I'm Italian, isn't it? So that's why sometimes it comes out in the wash. So you're looking for growth. So one thing that I bet Nathan could say instead of me now, I bet he could say it. You know what I'm about to say.
You're going to say that you don't like things that you have no agency over, and animations you have no. Well, if the animations were caused by you, that's one thing. But if the animations are just there, getting in your way, that annoys you, and you feel that that's a bit silly.
Well, it's just that it really gives me seasickness. It just motion sickness, it's called, when you're not at sea. It really does, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I've got 2 bits moving here in the heading and down here. They're both moving, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. And it doesn't add anything to my experience, because if I am interested, I'm going to move them. If I want to see what, I would definitely want to know what sites you get the deals from, because I'm recovering now, but used to have to be a complete addict to this kind of deal. So this, I'm interested in this. I am your target audience. And also, so I can't move them. I can't. Or actually, things that maybe are happening if I move there, but it's not clear. You need to maybe have a slider, make it clear. And also, I would make them clickable, because then maybe well, actually, obviously, you don't want me to go there, I guess. If you're offering some kind of, so, but what's really bothering me is the one up here, because the point is that you need to decide. This is basically what it shows is your indecision. You don't know, is it video, is it social, is it graphics, is it, what you're trying to do is show me that you have all of these deals. But that's the word deals is, that's it. Maybe call it digital deals, maybe. And then, so growth deal, what is a growth deal? I wouldn't know what a growth deal is, actually. So, Natasha, I don't want to sound harsh at all, because I think it's, the site is great in many other ways, but just this does not help you at all, because it really is distracting, even for someone who doesn't, is not as bothered as I am. I am unduly bothered by this. I mean, it's one of my pet hates, so take that into account. Other people are less bothered probably, but the point is that it doesn't do anything. It's confusing because it changes very quickly. But a very important thing is that this is really bad for SEO, because it's really bad for accessibility, because a web reader would not have the time to read this already, unless already caps are problematic unless you've done the caps with CSS because caps are read as acronyms by a web reader. So unless you've done the caps properly, it will read LOOKINGFOR. That's how it's going to be read.
Right.
But it doesn't have the time. The web reader does not have the time to read graphics. I mean, I don't have the time. So let alone a web reader, which is much slower. And by now it's really making my head spin a little bit. And the thing is that you got a really simple proposition. It's super clear. With Lifetime-o, you will never miss a great lifetime tag deal ever again. Brilliant. That's what I want to know. And in fact, I wouldn't even ask the question looking for deals. I would just make that the main heading, and I would make it quite a bit bigger. With Lifetime-o, you will never miss a great lifetime tag deal ever again. Also, what do you say here? Now I'm reading. You say, click send to messenger below to stay updated, but that's not what is there. What is there is subscribe now. So that's really weird. What should I click? So already you're sort of confusing me a little bit, because you're saying one thing and you're not, but then I find another. Also, it's not even correct. Nitesh, I'm glad that you can take it, that you understand that I mean well, even when I'm just like, no, great. Yeah, good point. So, but another thing, Nitesh, is that there's 2 things here, because you say click send to messenger below to stay updated. And obviously there's a contradiction, because what the button actually says is subscribe now. But there's another contradiction, which is if I just read this, click send to messenger, what I think is that all I have to do is click send to messenger, not enter my email. Well, in fact, I need to enter my email. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need to make sure it's a basic UX principle. Let's say, no, it's not quite correct, but it's a UX thing that you need to make sure that the message that you give is always confirmed, that you keep the promise, that you use a message that doesn't confuse the user. So it does confuse me because I'm like, what? So I wouldn't know what to do. What happens if I give you my email? I don't know why the Cloudways email comes up when I click on enter your email. It's very odd. And what do I subscribe to? Because what you're saying is, don't miss a great lifetime deal. So what I will put here is some copy that says, not long, it has to be short. This is what goes on buttons is so-called micro copy. I would make it much shorter and say something like, never miss a deal again, which I think is maybe short enough.
He's just interjected there to say that he's forgotten to update a plugin or include a plugin, which presumably would put I'm guessing it's going to put a messenger bot.
That's fine. I mean,
down at the bottom right or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, something's amiss there. And
that makes sense. Actually, Nitesh, if you knew how many things I miss.
Me too. Seriously. Every day. But
even so, I would want the option because I don't always like using Messenger. There will be a portion of your audience that doesn't even want to be on Facebook, or that doesn't want Messenger on their phone because they do read your it's really bad. We shouldn't have it at all. So I would prefer to give you my email, actually. So make sure that the copy corresponds what actually happens. Now, another thing that is funny, but I can't help finding it really fun, but at the same time, it's quite funny, but maybe a little bit too much. I can totally see your sense of humor here, but it's kind of, you're putting also, is that what you do with Lifetime? Is that the price of Lifetime? Because I'm now confused. I don't know. Now I don't think understand.
It's quite a typical, like on these deal sites like AppSumo, although it's increasingly not the case. It used to be that $49 was kind of like the price for a one deal. Yeah. So my assumption, having spent quite a lot of time like you being addicted to things like AppSumo, is that price has got nothing to do with this website, that there is no Lifetime price at all. It's just an indication that if you pay a normal price, it's a lot higher than if you pay through a deal website. But it does come across as paying Lifetime, doesn't it? You've got to pay them $49. Maybe you do. I don't know. Well,
exactly. We don't know. So that's really confusing. It's not clear at all. You need to clarify what exactly will happen, because this is super clear. Lifetime, sign up, never miss a great lifetime tech deal ever again. You're not talking about price though or anything. So I'm like, what? So what happens here? Is it an example, or is it? Do we need to pay Lifetime? So that's, I think, confusing. Another, this is a UI suggestion. Another thing that is potentially consuming is that all these logos are keeping their original colors, and there's lots of different colors. So I would make them all grayscale. It's going to make your page look so much more unified in terms of look. So I really recommend you do that. Now, I want to know what happens Lifetime or deal box. Before we proceed further, just wanted to remind you of our new section called the deal box. Well, you're not really reminding me because I'm a first-time visitor. So remind is when I already knew, but I don't know. So deal box is the easiest and fastest way to go through all the active Lifetime deals at once on a single page. Okay, so is there another way? So that's confusing again. I think you need to work on the user journey here. So really think about what you want people to do. Because right now, I mean, I totally understand immediately what it is that you offer, but I don't understand how. So I understand the what super clearly, which is great, but I don't understand the how. And now I'm really confused. Also, you're giving me savings as well as information. Oh no, the savings is because Lifetime deals are savings normally, I guess.
Yeah.
So I would definitely I would definitely clarify that. So we are the Amazon of LTDs. Also, never assume that people understand acronyms. I've got this thing, again, one of my pet hates, I'm really boring. I've got this thing with acronyms. It's something that I started really noticing acronyms when I was living permanently in London, because everybody was like, everything was an acronym. I was like, yeah, give me your ETA. And I, what the hell is an ETA? And, and everything, daily life totally peppered with those. And now I assume, if you speak English very well, you will know ETA, which is estimated time of arrival. I'll have for those who don't know. But don't think that because this is a lifetime deals website, people know what LTD is, because it could also be a different acronym. Really be careful, because also maybe a web reader is reading that and the person who doesn't know, and there's no way of finding out. So
that's interesting. I completely agree with that, because LTD is in my head. I know what that is, but in the UK it also stands for limited.
Exactly, limited company. That's what it is.
Yeah, if you are a limited company, you are an LTD. Limited, and at least I think, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, the point being, I completely agree. There are so many acronyms, and in that particular case, it would be just as easy to write it, wouldn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, and I mean, yesterday I asked a question in my group. It was a geek question about how to connect my Mac, stuff like that. And wonderful Bernard from Pods.
From Pods.
That's what he said. Yeah, that's why I moved from MBA to
MacBook Pro MVP.
MBA to MVP. And I was like, what on earth? And then he started talking about really complex, like, passive USB 3 cable versus active. And I was like, what the hell is an MBA and an MVP? An MBA is a degree, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then
I realized sport or something.
And I was like, oh, MVP is, but that because someone young, Louise Finley is a lovely young, she's a student, so she's like, yeah, MVPs. And I was like, I get it, MVP. I have an MVP, and he used to have an MBA MacBook Air. But yeah, anyway, I'm digressing a lot today, but I'm really.
It's okay, but I get it. Get rid of the acronyms. Why not?
Yeah, just never, ever assume that people are going to know what an acronym is. This really interestingly, because I used to see, there's another slide that moves. I want you to put just the button here for me to stop it. That's all I'm asking that you do, Nitesh. That's it. I love the little slight neomorphism, which I will maybe talk about. The little shadow behind it, it's actually not naff at all. It's really nice. So that's nice. Maybe I will make it just a little bit less. I would diminish it a little bit, but that's really lovely. So and I would just put the stop button. I was digressing on another tangent. What's the thing that I said before? I can't remember now.
We were talking about the acronyms, but then we were also talking about where you probably have to go further up the page. Up, not down.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just another train of thought that I wanted to follow, because
not sure.
It would have made me happy, and I can't remember now. Anyway, it probably. And I also don't believe that if you forget something and it means that it wasn't important. That's not my experience. Anyway, so I'm going to go and see what deal box is, because I believe that's going to get us understand. So the deal box is the easiest and fastest way. So the speed of the site, today my computer is really slow, and it's slower when I use StreamYard. So this doesn't reflect necessarily on the actual speed of Lifetimer, I want to say.
It's building. Let me see how it works for me in terms of page load. I'll do the same, and I'll report back in a sec, see how we go. Yeah,
but see, my computer isn't even quite moving, so.
Lifetime deal box. Right, let me click on that. I can't see you can't see it on my screen. Let me have a look. For me, it came in under a second. It was really fast.
Okay, so that's it. Yeah. Okay, so I still don't. So this is great, because look, it's got all the platforms and the product category, and you can even search. So don't forget to bookmark this page or regret later. That's slightly threatening, which again, oh, okay. So I don't like this. I don't like pop-ups anymore. I really don't. I don't want anyone to use them. You interrupted me. I wanted to see more of the page, and I must have moved. Maybe it's an exit intent pop-up, and it thought that I was leaving the page, and it interrupted me. It doesn't make me. It's very old style now, and I recommend that you consider other ways of persuading people to sign up, because I understand that you want them to sign up, but it'd be interesting to see whether it converts or not. But you wouldn't convert me. I just close it. I will still sign up. It's not like I'm against you now. I would still sign up, but I'm not going to sign up with this. There are very few cases where it is how a pop-up is still acceptable, but otherwise not. I like your sense of humor, Nitesh. I don't know whether it's always intended or not, like regret later. I don't know if it's intended or not, but anyway, I accept these lenient terms, and the privacy policy, yes, very lenient. I really like that. I have to comment on this. No, I hate savings. That's what's called a dark pattern. A dark pattern is in the bad UX black book, the black book of bad UX, and it's basically those patterns that are slightly, well, they can be threatening, or they can sort of imply that I don't hate savings. Why are you making me say that? The fact that I don't like that I'm not ready to give you my email right now doesn't mean that I hate savings. And yet you want me to say that. The one, it's good that I can close it anyway without clicking on no, I hate savings. But it's sort of psychological terrorism, isn't it? And you're making me feel like a bit of an idiot. So it's never good. And there's a lot of companies that do this. And in fact, sorry, I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. So
yes,
yeah.
I know what you mean. I've seen this deployed all over the place. Yeah.
I don't think it helps you, Nitesh. Don't do it. I know that you've done it. I did it once, and then before I realized that it really it's a so-called dark pattern, and so don't do it. It's not. I don't think it helps you. So I'm going to close it now. And
Chris, by the way, says, I can never say goodbye to pop-ups. Oh. There's so many different alternatives, isn't there? You can still have things sort of interrupting, but in a much more low-key, sliding in at the side kind of way, not necessarily
that helps as well. Yeah,
the domination of the entire page. Yeah,
I know that a lot of marketers say that they're called full mat, whatever they're called, that kind of.
Doormat, I think it is.
Yeah, doormat that completely covers the screen. They say that people say that they convert. If they convert for you, don't listen to me. Just keep it. Do change that no, I hate savings thing. Just change that. But if they convert for you, then you shouldn't listen to me. But they're not a good. They don't. If I tell you about the experience side, they're not a great experience for me. They know that. Peter is saying, I absolutely agree with the no thanks, I'm stupid, close the pop-up. Yeah, it's not good. So what I am still wondering here, just to go into the meat of it, again, is do I get the deal through you, Nitesh? What's the story here? Are you making some money out of it? I suppose you'll have an affiliate link, so you want people to go via here, but do I pay something? What do you want from me? I don't know. I
think if you click through, it's an affiliate link.
It's an affiliate link. Okay.
So the proposition here is he's just taking the time to put everything on one page so that you don't have to go looking.
It's wonderful. It's really, really helpful. Just make it clearer what it is that you give, Nitesh. And also here, this purple is really, you have very saturated colors. I would check them in a tool like coolers.co, because I want to move to our other website now. I love the color scheme. I really love this. I really like it. Purple with this red and pink is great. Very, very, very warm. I love it. But your typeface is way too tiny. That tells me you're young. Way too tiny. This is borderline invisible. Well, I do read it, but it's way too small. So as in not so much tiny, but yeah, it is a little bit small, but also it's very thin. Use a thicker version of the typeface. Also, I don't like using too many fonts. You have a very nice. I'm not going to go into the inspector because right now my computer is too slow. But from what I can tell, you have a sans serif typeface, which is the same as your logo, and this is like the it's just the bold that looks slightly different, but that's lovely. Here, it may be that you can't, because maybe using an embedding system that doesn't allow you, but it's a different typeface. And I think it would look nicer if you could use the same typeface everywhere. But I understand that probably maybe you can't because of what you're using to embed. So I hope this was useful. You got freebies, you got contact us. So it's really good. I will just make it clearer, because what's the difference? So the deal box is new. Clarify what we said before. And then, great, thank you very much for building this. It will make us spend even more money. And now we know to come here first, so we give you some of it.
So I guess the idea is to get people on this page, but also to build the email list, because it kind of felt like the email list right at the top of page one was the main intent of the project.
Clearly, it's
and then once they've got the list, presumably any new deals will just be sent out in an email fresh each time they land.
Nitesh, the idea is to really decide what the main aim is. Actually, I do have the homepage here. Decide on the main aim, make it absolutely super clear, and decide that if you want people to give you their email, give them something they can't say no to. Make them an offer they can't refuse, and make it super, super clear. But I don't think you need pop-ups for that. Can you hear like weird noises? Because they're redoing my roof. They're working on my roof.
Just the time. It just sounds almost like you're moving your mouse. It's very faint. I wouldn't worry. It's
above it. There's nothing I could do about it.
Nothing annoying about it.
Good. So I am now going to move to our next website. Nitesh, I hope that was helpful. And
yes, can I just say he did quite a while ago. He said he was loving all the suggestions.
Okay,
great. He would quit commenting. So
and sorry. Never disturb. Yes, most of these messages written in the footer. Well, he needs which is great. I mean, obviously it's affiliate, but by the way, for Nitesh and everyone else, do comment. It doesn't disturb. It helps, because I don't know sometimes, and you can tell me. Sometimes it's mostly just helpful. It never is an interruption. And that's the nice thing about doing things on Facebook, isn't it? So we can.
Yeah. Can I just ask something that, just from your experience? Chris has said that he feels that if you're going to deploy pop-ups, he says the exit ones he feels are the best.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Because obviously at that point you've kind of committed to leaving, so it's a last grab at somebody who's probably going to leave anyway. Does it annoy you, or does it startle you, or? It's
the best ones. Yeah. I didn't feel like in this case, I didn't feel that it helped me. But if you remember, I was just trying a new tab because do you remember? I don't know if we've got time today, that I'm sure we looked at it, the face yoga method.
We did. We have looked at a few of the sites, but I can't remember that one.
Yeah, there was a website that basically was giving me something that I knew I wanted, and it has a pop-up that comes up upon exit intent, and actually it's something that I want. So in that case, I was like, thank you for reminding me. I actually do want that now. So it can be helpful. It's one of the cases where it can be helpful. Okay. But I don't even think, I think there are other ways. Your comments
Nitesh, the comments come up when I put them up, that I have to actually click on a button. So some of them
he's too lazy.
I don't show them all. Yeah. So just so that you know.
Yeah. So let's have a look at this. What's this amazing thing here? What
now?
Is
hang on.
now?
Right. Before we get into this, right. For the longest time, a few people have ribbed me saying, why don't you put your website up there? And the WP Builder one, it's just not worth it. It's just going to be torn to pieces so fast. So this one is coming our way instead. Now I have to confess, I've had lots and lots of help building this. So I take no credit. So, but anyway, what I've got for the first time, I've got my pen and I've got my paper, and I'm literally going to write down everything that comes out of your mouth.
Amazing.
So let's go for it.
Right. I wouldn't do that. Are you going to hold this against me? So, it's the second time. But what's wrong with me today? Focus is very hard today, I have to say.
Oh, we're all going through it.
I was about to say, oh yeah, and I was going to say that we did have a very tiny conversation about this a while ago, but I didn't really do a proper review. Now, first of all, the first thing that I look at is what's the main aim of the website, and do I understand immediately? It's the 3-second test, which apparently is actually less than 3 seconds. They say A/B testing in WordPress made super easy. That's it. Obviously it's for a business industry audience, because otherwise, my mum won't know what A/B testing is. But then you don't care because she's not your target audience. So that I know exactly what this is going to give me, and I'm already like pricking up my ears and going yes, or my eyes. Find out what motivates your website visitors and automatically give them more of the same, with an exclamation mark, which is very Nathan. So
yeah.
So their typeface is really nice. It's squashy, which you need. It's just it's borderline too squashed to me.
Do you mean in terms of it's wider than it is tall?
It's called extended. Yeah.
Okay.
Condensed is when it's taller than it's wide, and extended is when it's. I like it very much, but it's borderline too much. And when anything is borderline too much, then it may affect accessibility and things like that. Because you think I'm boring with my obsessions, but there's all sorts.
No, this is great.
One thing that I would say is that I like that it's really good to have enough white space and to not be afraid of white space. Actually, no, I was going to say that, and I'm not, because it's really fine. This is the right distancing between these elements, because if you were any less, it would be too close. So this is quite good. And I love that it's short and sweet. Now, I always say make buttons look interactive. So if this button is not flat, it's 3D. And I tell you what I really like about this site is that even though the illustrations are modern, but it's got this 50s feel.
Yeah.
Which is the button with the what's it called? It's the shift. It's
the border basically just sort of shifts back in parallel.
And I love it because that immediately makes me, and it definitely is interactive, because when I hover over it, it changes. Watch the video. The arrows tell me that it's interactive. That's borderline. I would almost recommend. Any active link should be underlined. You can use border bottom, you can use whatever you want, but they should be underlined, again, for accessibility issues. I am not an accessibility expert, but I know a little bit about it, and I can tell you that I know the basics. What so it just link it. It's
okay.
It's easier, and also it would make it look like the button. So but the turquoise of the copy against the off-white of the background is very low contrast. I don't know if you've tested the contrast.
No.
But it's very low contrast, and I would think that that's borderline again.
Okay.
If it were underlined, that would help a lot. You could actually do exactly the same. Underline it with the orange, and then go reverse orange on the hover.
So what, the button but in reverse? So have an orange background with a blue border.
Right now it's blue.
Yep.
Have a border bottom orange, and when I hover, it goes same.
Got it.
Because it's also interactive. It does something different, but I understand because it's a different type of link. So, okay, let me see. Can I close this? Yes, I can. Very important. I can. I've got agency and I've got options. I've got
that
the
actually,
ability.
I'm interested in your thoughts on that, because I only did that yesterday. I basically said, if you've been on the page for more than a minute, I think it was, and obviously you'd had it open in the tab for a long time. So I thought a minute feels like a decent amount of time for somebody to be there. Then it comes up. Prior to that, it's that little blue button. And
Also,
I wondered about that. Is it okay? Do you feel annoyed when that pops up? No? Okay.
Well, I feel annoyed when you close it and it keeps popping up. I understand why people have it. And actually, if you do answer, it's good user experience, because it means that you are listening to what I want. And
I'd be interested to know actually whether it does come back up. I can't remember how I set that up, but I would have hoped that I'd have set it up so that once you've dismissed it, it never comes again, even next week or whenever, you know. Exactly,
because now I know it's there, and if I want, I can always call it up.
Yeah.
So, and I have, for instance, there are there's Podia, which is the course platform that I use. So what I do, okay, it's here. So that's a bit confusing but that's not you, it's just the plugin. Yeah. I expected the cross to be up here, but it's here. It always confuses me.
Yeah, it is different.
What I don't, because before it was here, and actually, can you see my mouse?
Yes, and I noticed that as well. The dismiss was at the top, wasn't it, when it automatically came up? But when you engaged it, the cross was at the bottom, which is a bit weird.
And I know because
it's the exact same plugin doing the same thing. So
Podia, which is a course platform, have it, and I don't like the way they use it. It's intrusive, and also because yours is fine though. The tab flashes when it automatically has open, because they use it to relay news. So when I log in, this is open, and the tab flashes, and I'm like,
right.
Don't like that.
All right, well, we'll stay away from that.
We all know that our tolerance levels online are so low these days. So I have what I consider two calls to. So I've got buy now here. So this is the main call to action. Try the demo. That's what you want me to do. And then I've got buy now here. You know already what I'm going to do, because you know me so well now.
Click it.
Yeah, I'm going to click it, but I'm going to check if they do the same thing. So I'm going to click on try the demo. Again, the speed or lack thereof is no reflection.
It is pretty quick.
Yeah. So this actually, try the demo, is actually taking me to a demo. And here, inevitably, I am going to comment on the fact that I've got 1, 2, 3 different fonts. This, if I'm not wrong, is Josephine. This is Josephine.
We missed that. You're right. I forgot about that. Well spotted.
This is Josephine. Is the logo in Josephine songs?
Can't remember. Yeah,
I think it could well be. But I recommend just using. It looks like it could well be Josephine Sons, which is a lovely.
It is that really strongly rings a bell. So yes, I'm going to put my hand in the air and say it is that. If it's not,
but then here I have a completely different font.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You don't use this. Then use the same typeface you use here, because you are trying to at your beginning. You're creating brand recognition. It's fine if the typeface of the logo is not the typeface that you use on a website. That's not a problem, because also it looks, it's a sans serif. It doesn't matter. But that needs to be a consistent message, because otherwise you're confusing me. It's like, is this the same site?
Got lost, got forgotten.
Yeah, happens. It happens. But what I'm interested in is whether buy now does something different. Probably does. It's not doing much for me.
Let me see.
But it could be me, to see if it works for you.
I'm just going to load it up.
Because
no, something's balked there.
So where would it have taken me?
If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, about two, I would say it's about 3/5 of the way down, something like that. You'll see something akin to a pricing. Yeah, that's it. something akin to a pricing table. The intention was to scroll you down to there. So I don't know what's gone wrong there. I'll look at that.
Okay, so that's good, because when you say try now, it really does make me try it now. And when you say buy now, it really does. I think that's the conversation that we had. But whatever, that's, it's a always make sure that what you say that the button does actually, that's what happens. So that's really good.
Chris says, yeah, it's linked to the ID of pricing, but I don't know what I've done there. I've probably just whipped the ID of the row out or something. I'll fix it. It smooth scrolls down.
It needs fixing, but that's fine. So features. Now I like the circles. I mean, there's it's really nice. And again, there's sort of this 50s feel. I once did a whole design using this kind of feel, so I really like it. I like the pastel colors, but again, careful with contrast, because it can be an issue. So features, set up in a few minutes. From install, set and forget. You know what they say, that you shouldn't talk about features, you talk about benefits. So, and actually I think that these are more than features, these are benefits. Set up in a few minutes, set and forget, that's a benefit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's almost no centered text, because by now Nathan knows better than to center text.
There's the tiny little, like the features, like where it says features.
Exactly. Why would you do that? The only reason why
the circle is why we did it.
Yeah, that's why, and that's why it kind of can work here, because what it makes me think is it's following the circle. But in general, why not align? You've got everything aligned. But obviously the logo isn't aligned, but that doesn't matter. Also, I am in two minds about right alignment.
Yes, I was very interested to see what you thought about that.
Yeah.
Actually.
The thing is that it can work, and I understand why you do it. But what I end up doing is invariably I try it out and then I don't do it, because look how ugly it looks when you've got the so-called orphan, which is a single word left on one line, which it is. You can avoid that. There's some CSS wizardry that allows you to avoid that, but who can be bothered these days of if you're a type nut, you would. But so it looks really odd, and it's not what we expect naturally. I don't know what it's going to look like if you left a line and you use, because basically you're using what is called a Z pattern, which is a good layout pattern, especially on the web, because on the web we are constantly scrolling. So it's good to help the eye actually follow the information. I just go in a zigzag, So it actually helps. But I don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, for instance, ConvertKit do really well on their homepage, and they never write a line, but they're not using the big circle that you are. So I don't know whether that's going to look odd or not. But I would think that legibility trumps any gimmick. I would much rather my text were legible, and I don't use the big, and I don't follow the contours of the big circle, and I do something else.
It's on the
list.
You
know what I mean? Also, look here. It comes out of the circle, and it looks really nice.
I quite like that. Yeah,
it works. Yeah, it works. Yeah. I would not inscribe things in a circle. That's why I think that features should definitely be here. And if it looks odd, because also, we know that it's going to change depending on the size of the window anyway. I would align it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyway, already on the web, it's so difficult to keep alignment. So please, let's align. It's the one most important thing. If you follow one design principle and you make it alignment, anything that you do will be 50% better. I can guarantee that.
Thank you.
So, and again, because look how odd it looks here, because now you've got 4 columns. So if testimonials is at least aligned to this column, then here you've changed the padding, you've changed the columns. Something got to be aligned. I actually would look at that. And also why? Because you have these sort of random dots, which are lovely. But so when you can only have random elements when everything else is really tight, basically.
Okay.
So no need to speculate anymore. We test ideas in seconds. An A/B split test does the rest. Very, very nice. In 5 minutes, I created an A/B test, increased our demo bookings by 10%. I can't wait to try it out.
Yeah.
Wonderful. There's a very real difference at bottom line. I mean, 10% is a lot. Use cases. Call to action. Test different. So this is where I'm starting to feel like there is a bit too much space between things. I mean, I like that you're not afraid of space, but maybe make these shorter so that it's more than 2 lines floating, because otherwise it looks like it's a little bit floating. And maybe there's a bit too much distance here between...
The text is quite punchy in that, 2 lines is it's paired right back, and there is an opportunity to actually add more text to reduce that space. But the punchy text, I feel, is a good.
I like that, absolutely. Yeah. But make it so. Why not make it maybe bigger? Because it do something so that it stands out a bit more, because it's floating a bit. It's getting a bit lost. And look how nice it works here. That you've got left a line, left a line, left a line. It works really well. See the rhythm? See the visual rhythm? It really works.
Yeah.
And it's so readable. Also, I would do that. They're a bit floaty. So I keep the copy punchy. It's really great. Is that hero tax really popping? Try a few variations. You might be surprised what works. I would make it pop. Ha! Can you make it pop? Yeah, navigation. Maybe I have too many menu options, which can be the case sometimes. Is that hero text really popping? Oh yeah, this is repeated, but that's all right. Yes. Sign up for our free 5-day course, taking you from AB what to easy as ABC. Very nice. Learn how to A/B split test. This is presumably learn the fundamentals of conversion optimization. Yeah, definitely align. What you're learning, just 15 and learn the patterns, spot the opportunity, try it out on your own free test site. That's great.
Don't look at that circle. I can't explain the circle at the bottom. There's not a circle.
That's all right. They're only decorative anyway, so it's fine. I would, what if I'm sold already and I don't need to know? So there's a form at the bottom, fine, but also put it at the top somewhere.
Okay, interesting.
Do you need for the goal to be, is that really important for you? Because one principle of good form UX and good server UX is to make as few elements compulsory as possible. So if there's anything, because it could be, I mean, what if the goal isn't here? What if you
not entirely. I mean, we could literally pair that back just to the email field, in all honesty.
I mean, the goal is you could keep it, but I just wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it mandatory. And then also, a tenet, another sort of principle would be that you don't know whether those are there only 3 goals. There could be many more, and you could not. I mean, it's too much to say piss someone off is too little. They have a problem if they get angry about this. Not even I would, but it's just irritating. The web, our daily interactions with electronics and digital stuff are full of daily micro frustrations. Basically, it's all the time. And so I think that humanity's irritability is way higher. I mean, all the meditation really helps, but I still get even stuff that do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that actually eliminating as much friction as possible is always a good idea. So either put other, or don't make it compulsory though, because I may be forced to give an example, a goal that is not my goal.
Okay.
And even though it's nothing serious, but still. So here again, careful with the contrast. And I know this is a menu, so menus, there's slightly different rules because people understand that menus are interactive. But when in doubt, underline links. And I definitely would underline them here because it's a footer. But as I tell you what it is. Okay, so this is an aligned footer. So it's tidy enough, but because of the, mega dots, and because the footer here isn't aligned and the form up isn't aligned, it loses a bit of how tight it would be.
Sure.
What I would do is, to make it look tidier, I would probably give it a background so that it separates it, because there's no clear separation. And I would probably not have the dot here. You don't need it. Excuse me.
It's all right. Sneeze away. Or is it a yawn?
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it feels good.
It's really windy today. It's kind of weird stuff in here. Yes, sorry.
All right.
So I'm human. I sneeze. So and also about the centering. The thing with centering is that people assume that the center is where our attention is, but that's not true. The attention in a case like this, for sure, would be where my eye last was, and my eye last was here, so on the left. Therefore, why not have the sign on the form on the left? There's no real advantage to having it in the center. I mean, I know that it's kind of almost it's this stuff of legend. MP stakes my thing with centered, but I always try and give a reason. So I don't think that actually, it would almost make more sense on the right. Do you know what I mean? Because you do have stuff that's aligned to the right.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing the Z. You've been doing a Z pattern.
The next one is the right, isn't it?
The next one is the right, maybe. Anyway, try it out. So you may think, you know what, it doesn't look good. It could be that this looks, because it's not, it's not bad. It could be that you go, no, actually, you know what, it makes complete sense in the center. I'm going to leave it here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to just go to the pricing.
Again, there you go. That's what the buy now button should have done. It should have taken you to the
Yeah. So definitely, okay, you changed that. That's something that I had said.
We did. We took your advice. I passed it up the chain of command, and it got. Yeah, we thought that was the right thing.
Yeah, because I'm just going to say, because I think it's helpful if anyone's still watching, that it happens to me that you get a pricing like this, and what it is actually in the circle is $17 per month, $197 annually, and then you go and buy it, and you realize that you can only buy per annum, annually, rather than, and it's a dark pattern. It's just wrong because it's
right.
Not,
that's what you said. I should probably clarify. What we had a price which implied a certain price based upon annuals. No, I'll tell you what we had. We had a monthly price written in the big number, but the actual price was that extrapolated over 12 months. So we just made it much more clear.
So now I know. Now there's no doubt. I know that I'm going to have, if I want 5 sites, if I want the plugin on 5 sites, I'm going to have to pay $197 now, which seems very fair. And I'll do that. And about $17 per month tells me that that's what you mean. This is the cost spread over a year. This is how much the plugin is going to.
Yeah, we just flipped it.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's varying degrees. So it costs me a bit to see the difference. I would accentuate a little bit the difference in the circles, in fact, because.
What do you mean? Say that again. What should I do?
It took me a little bit to because the difference between this, I've just realized that the size of the circle, no, it doesn't.
Well, it sort of does, and then the last one it doesn't, because the last one's
it doesn't.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say for those who haven't read our minds is that the size of the circles seems in apart from the mistake, but it's meant to be so the highest price has the biggest circle. But because they're very gentle pastel colors, and because there's not that much difference in size, it cost me a little bit. I had this feeling of untidiness rather than so, because what you are doing is actually helpful. It's a nice way of using the UI to guide, obviously associate something bigger with something, highest price, bigger circle. Absolutely. But then make it clearer, definitely make it clearer. And maybe the colors are way too pastely. I don't know. For this, in this particular case, I do not know. I would also, I'm wondering whether so basically you have this turquoise and this pink stroke orange, like peachy, salmony color. Actually, I think that I had salmon today, was exactly that color. So because also this would be much brighter in Firefox. So I'm wondering, are the other colors like a version, so same hue but different color? And I'm going to show you what I mean, because this is really quite essential to know. Can you, because it's going to take flipping ages for me to call up the inspector, can you give me the values, the hex values for the pink and the blue?
Yeah, 1 second. I'll have to do that hold on 1 second. I've shut all my bits and pieces down. I don't want to do that. Yes, I do. 1 second. Sorry, Piccia, I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
So that's okay.
Look, it's taking ages too. So basically the reason why I was saying that is that if you should really have a very basic palette, have like maybe 2 main colors, especially if you're not a color expert. And
so the turquoise is 38D7D3.
38D7D3. For those who don't know coolers, if there's anyone left who doesn't, it's a wonderful palette generator. So you can create palettes randomly, but you can also use it to save your own palettes and to create palettes, because it's got all the color values that you need to look at. So it's quite a great technical tool.
Yeah. And the salmon, so the contrast on the bottom is FF887B.
You need to say it again. So
Foxtrot.
The pink is what?
FF.
Yeah.
887B for Bravo.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna close this. So see that I'm going to lock it, because otherwise I might lose it, because simply by pressing the space bar I can get a new palette. Now it's super slow reaction. So see, it's changed everything but the color that's nice.
It's a good feature
that I had. Yeah. So what's the other color? The turquoise.
Okay, the turquoise was 38 D7, so delta 7, and then delta 3. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to lock this one as well. Not drag, just lock. So I have a feeling, so they've actually changed the settings here, so I have to look at them. I mean, it's really useful because it gives you shades, but shade is not what you should be looking at on the web. So that's not going to be particularly helpful. So, but I need to, it's changed what the stuff that it had. Oh, it's here, I think. So if I click here, oh yeah, because here you see, I think it was better before. They had it here and it was so much easier to tell that here, I always have to remind myself. So that's wrong. Here is where you have all the different ways that you can express the color. So hex color is one of them. What I'm interested in is HSB, which is hue, saturation, and brightness. So this has 52 saturation, this color. So it's a good web color, because up to 80, maybe 85 is all right. So this is the hue, which is, if you imagine this as a wheel, it's the point on the wheel where the color is. Hue is basically color. So you can obtain completely different colors just playing with the brightness and the saturation. So in order to create your palette, what I suggest that you do is you change the brightness and the saturation. You don't go and look for another color that you think fits with your brand colors. That's what you need to do. So for instance, I create headings colors for this. If I wanted like a brighter accent color for the, maybe for underlining, I don't know, because you know, this is, because it's such low saturation, 52, the contrast with a white background is very low. So when you go in small size, it's harder to see.
Got it.
So you want more contrast. So I would go up in the saturation, and I would only use it for, mind you, it doesn't lock to this. So I actually should have duplicated it. Let me go back.
You said 52 previously, didn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, that's it, 52. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it. So that's this last, it copies the X, and I was better before. They have changed the UI and it's not improved.
Not as good. There you go.
No, because I didn't. Well, I never needed to remind myself before, because there was an icon here. I could access this menu from an icon. And so back to HSB. So you could, for instance, do that if you wanted something brighter, and you would know that it goes because, but I would only use it for stuff. Look how it vibrates already next door to the turquoise, because the turquoise, they're actually kind of almost complementary colors. So they sit opposite on the wheel. I can geek out about color for like hours. Why did we even get here? Because I'm gonna copy the so 84. So the turquoise is borderline. It's fine, but it's borderline. So I'm gonna copy the RX, and I am going also slightly. We are used to. So I'm used to see. It was I was able to copy and paste hex values without having to go to just by clicking in the. Anyway, so what I would do, for instance, for the headings is I would not like select a black or what I would do is I would go into HSB and I would just take the brightness right down. So I know you see that the hue is still the same, but now I have a really dark color. It calls it dark jungle green, and that's my headings.
Got it.
And
okay.
And then finally, so now, sorry, again, it's behaving weirdly because
new UX.
So why? No, because it just now won't do what? Okay, good. It wants me to sign in. I won't. I'm going to lock this one as well, and I'm going to lock this one as well. This was the one that it had generated. What line of thinking was I following when I came here? Oh, yeah. So these colors are not from there. So you have this palette. Usually what I do is also I add a gray to a palette, because it's always good to have a neutral. And on the web, I think the gray is the best. And for that, I would just simply you can create a gray from this, but I just use, in this case, I just go, see, it's not helping. Maybe 333 is quite dark, isn't it?
Yeah, fairly dark.
Fairly dark. So I want to go brighter than that. So I just want a light gray. Maybe this is too light, but anyway, so I would add a gray to the palette, and this would be my palette. So, but that doesn't mean that these are the only colors that you can use for the circles, because within this palette, you can do whatever you want. Now, the problem with shades is that I don't know how he's made these shades, because shade technically in real life is you add black when you add a shade. And I don't know whether here it means that it's taking the brightness out. But the tint here, I assume, and also tint in real life is when you add white. Whereas on the web, it's about taking out or increasing luminosity. Do you see what I mean?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
that, I'm not saying that you've only got these colors. I'm saying take these hues, go here, take these hues, and just make them brighter or darker, and use those. Or saturation as well. Saturation works really well as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that's
Saturation,
some.
desaturate, and use a desaturated color. So that you can have like so many colors, so
Yes,
many
nice.
colors, and never change the hue, and therefore know that your palette is still consistent, and it does make a difference.
Yeah, it's nice.
Makes a complete difference. Also here, this pink way too washed
I'm
out.
seeing that. I'm
You
seeing
can see
that.
that now that we're
Yeah.
looking at this. That's a situation where I would probably use this orange red Crayola thing. Let me check the saturation on it, whether I've saturated it too much. Let's see. No, 77 is fine.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, some top advice there. That's great. I've got it all written down on my little post-it note.
It's almost as if I did it for a living.
Oh no! How
I
do you get
know.
to be so good at this? Now, that's really nice advice. Thank you.
Well, my pleasure. If anyone wants to hire me, you can, because there's this sort of understanding that I don't work, but I do. I work
it's
with
widely understood that you don't.
It's a big sort of, an urban legend. But also, everyone, if there's anyone watching, which I don't know, which is better.
There is. There is.
I am also launching very shortly. Just need to get the sales page done. A typography masterclass. So all the stuff that you hear me ranting about, I will tackle in a big masterclass, because I've got this UX course, and as part of it, so whoever is already a student in the UX course, you are one, Nathan.
I am.
Gets the masterclass for free, but I'm also making it accessible to people who are not on the course, because they may want the typography, and it's going to be it's going to cover all the UX and UI of text. It won't necessarily. I'm not a CSS expert. I will touch on certain things that always come up, like how to size type, what to use for type sizing, if to use pixels or rems, or that will come up. But I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about type CSS, because that would be being an imposter, because CSS is not. I'm not a CSS expert. I'm a expert. I know CSS, but that's it. And also about something that people come up with all the time is how to choose fonts and fonts pairing. And that's something else. Maybe I'll stop the screen sharing.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. So
that's something else that we're going into quite a bit of depth into. We'll do it with a sort of live case. So I'll be doing it. So it will be practical. Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you? You would think that I'd come to this with a sales page.
Yes.
I just have not.
What's it going to be called though, so that we can keep our eye? If we see somebody discussing it, it'll prick our attention up, like we know that's Piccia's one.
Why don't we decide on a URL now? We could decide on the URL now, couldn't we?
That's fascinating.
We could do designforgeeks.com/type.
Type
Masterclass or type?
Type's a lot easier to say.
Type is a lot.
It doesn't say what the course is, but
I mean, if you go there, you get a 404 page, but designforgeeks.com/type.
That's where it's going to be. That's a great live course creation.
I know when it is. I can tell you. I know. Actually, I need to write.
What, the date that you finally pull the blanket off, the cover off, and reveal it to the world?
When the masterclass is going to happen is Thursday, the 25th of June. Bar clashes. I need to check that no one else is doing something at that time. Yeah, it is soon, isn't it? Maybe it's on the 2nd of July.
Yeah.
I need to. No, but the thing is, I got the material is ready. I just need to let people know the material is done. I mean,
that's perfect.
Yeah,
If
but
you've done the
knowing
stuff.
myself. Yeah, but knowing
Yes.
myself, I'd be like.
Yes.
So I'll confirm.
That's great.
Pencil it in for Thursday, the 25th of June.
Yeah, I will.
And it would be affordable, and there will be a payment plan. I haven't decided how much, but it won't be very much. I mean, it would be fair because it's going to
designforgeeks.com/type. Bookmark it. Keep coming back.
Yeah, and also, in fact, if anyone's watching and you have a specific typography from the design side, like I said, don't ask me like CSS complicated type questions because I won't. That's not what it's going to be about. But anything, any type, burning type issue that you would like to see addressed. When I've asked in my group and to students of the course, they all say generally the answer is font pairing or finding the right font for the project. Typeface, I should say. But yeah, so that's definitely covered. But something else, if you have it, let us know.
Piccia, as always,
I just wouldn't shut up.
Bomb of knowledge dropped upon us. That was very, very enjoyable, and for the first time, something that's close to my heart, which is nice. And like I said, I've taken lots of notes. You can't really see them. My pen was being a bit erratic, so they're not exactly legible. But thank you. I will make sure to go and implement those.
Just last question, Nathan. Is your hair in the back in a ponytail?
Yes.
Nathan, your ponytail, the ringlets. I love Nathan's ringlets. They're the best ringlets on the web.
Oh,
they really
dear.
are.
Yeah, give it a look at it. It's bizarre.
They're amazing.
Yeah, honestly, if I don't put it in the ponytail, it's
like
a helmet.
I have that.
Hair. Yeah, you know, right. Okay, thank you so much, Piccia. We'll do that. I don't know whether you want to do this again next month or not. You're probably going to be a bit busy with your course. But,
no, I know. I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
It is. So, it's nice, isn't it? So we'll see you again. If you want to book on for the next one, if you want to submit your website and have the treatment, like that was quality what I got just there. But also, Nitesh got a ton of value as well. So submit your site, wpbuilds.com/UI. That's a nice, easy one to remember as well. wpbuilds.com/UI. That's it. I think we'll say sayonara. Thank you so much, Piccia. I'm going to put the little slide up and say, see you later.
Bye. Great. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.